Whoa. Okay, now I can see why you're like, I'm about to crash out. All right, guys, today we have a very cool guest. She is a multifaceted Boston-based designer and artist, and also happens to be my former classmate from Boston University. We both studied graphic design there, but yeah, let's welcome Izzy Bernasconi to Psosi Studio.
Thank you.
Of
So happy
course.
to be here.
Yeah, I mean, before we jump into everything, just want to ask, like, how you're doing today. I know, like, you came back from work not too long ago, so
Yes, I did have a very long day at work
right.
today. One crash out, but it's
Oh,
okay.
but we move.
This job has been Perry, like, I thought school was fast-paced. This
Uh,
job is, like, insanely
insane.
fast-paced,
Yeah,
so
I can
I'm
imagine.
just trying to stay above water, like, half the time, but it's been, like,
Mhm.
great experience, but we usually work till, like, 6 o'clock every night, so
Yeah.
pretty late and then come home and work sometimes, so long hours, but it's worth it.
Okay, for sure. But yeah, we'll definitely get more into the details of what you're doing, working in the fashion industry as a designer and all that. But yeah, kind of first wanted to start with going back to your creative roots and where it all started for you. So both your parents are artists, right?
Yes, they are. They're both user experience designers.
UI, UX. Okay.
So they went to UX. I'm think I'm gonna go into that way
Mhm.
after this first job. But yeah, I think I want to go into UX, but they were UX designers. They both went to art school. So my mom went to Ringling, which is an art school in Florida, not too
Okay.
popular. I think it's in Sarasota. And my dad went to RISD
Really? Okay.
and he grew up in Boston, went to RISD. He really enjoyed it. And then, yeah, they ended up meeting at an ad agency in the 90s, which was really cool. They worked at an ad agency called Digitas. They have a bunch of offices across the US and global too. So that's how they met. And just to say the least, art has always been in my life since like the day I could remember. I have pictures of like me and my dad drawing and painting in my living room. I can just recall countless hours just spent in my art room on the third floor of my house, which is
Right.
basically like a mini Blick store. It has
Like,
everything you could ever want,
okay.
like charcoal, acrylics, painting, canvases, like calligraphy stuff, like literally anything you can name. My dad will just pull it out and be like, oh, perfect. So yeah, it was really fun growing up. Just creativity was always like enforced. I think it offered me a really cool lens to see the world through, like
Right.
through creativity, like everything I saw, whether it was just like menus. They were always critiquing menus growing up of like the
Interesting.
design. Like I vividly remember that. My dad just like always getting frustrated with like whatever website he uses because it was so like not user friendly. He's like, this can be
Mhm.
approved. Why is it like this or why is it like that? So just everything was always based around art and design and creativity.
Okay, no, that's so interesting because I feel like, honestly, even just thinking about people in our class and just people I know, I feel like I don't really know many people whose parents were actually both like practicing artists. So I think it's definitely, a bit of a different experience growing up when your parents see things through more of a creative lens. Cause like for me, my parents, like my mom's a pharmacist, my dad's a mechanical engineer. So my
Yeah.
kind of creative vibe was just based on my own experiences and what I kind of saw from, growing up in the era I grew up in school and things like that. So it's kind of like I got that artistic lens from more so like an outside the home, but then it's like for you, you were literally always
But
constantly
yeah.
surrounded by it. And then so this, I mean, like when we were in school, like you didn't ever have to go to Blick, I'm assuming, right? You just get stuff from home and then like,
Yeah, I was always, like, in high school, like, donating art supplies to
oh
the art
wow,
room because I just had, like, an overload of acrylic
abundance.
paint that my dad didn't need, so we just give it away.
Hmm.
But art was, like, always my favorite subject in school. I always looked forward to it. Like, my school projects in, like, middle school were, like, insanely good because my parents would, like, want to do them. So they were just, like, obviously not made by a 7-year-old or, like, however old I was, like, my parents did them. Like, they were just, like,
Right.
full-blown, like, projects that went full out. So they were definitely those parents that did
They
the whole
wanted to be
full 9
involved.
yards.
Yeah.
Yes, like, even, like, my Valentine's Day little gifts and crafts, like, they were always just, like, went the full length and stuff, and yeah, just
Okay.
always very, very supportive, always influenced me to be creative, although, like, growing up in Boston, I felt very isolated as a creative. I felt very, like, alone as, like because I didn't know that many people who were creative,
Mm,
especially who had creative parents too, so I kind of felt,
right.
like, different and sort of alone growing up, but, like, I ended up embracing it fully when I went to college and was like, "This is something that is unique about me, and I should really embrace this, like, this makes me different." I'm really proud of, like, how far I've come with that as well.
Okay. No, for sure. And then, like, do you think you can sort of identify a moment where you kind of started experiencing like the world of creativity for yourself rather than, I guess, like through your parents' lens? Because obviously, they had that influence on you, but like, was there kind of a change where it's like, okay, now I'm taking ownership of like actually wanting to pursue art rather than because like my parents are really into it?
Most important moment, I think, was, like, getting into, like, magazine collage and, like,
Hmm.
reading fashion magazines is what I did a lot when I was in high school, and I was just often, like, cutting up those and playing around and rearranging those, and that taught me a lot about, like, typography, layout, design basics that my parents taught me, but then I was able to turn that into, like, an analog practice, which is why I'm so, like, addicted to analog design is
Mm.
because that's how I originally started out as, is, like, those, like, magazine collages that I still do today. They really take me back to, like, that time where, like, I was just creating with my hands, and it's obviously, like, something I missed while we were in school.
Also, for like, I guess the viewers watching that don't know what like analog art is, it literally just means like art made with hands, like physical artwork. So yeah, I mean, just continuing on that, what has made you continue to like pursue it? I feel like I've seen you just do like so much more with it now, even after like going to school for design and even like
Yeah.
now that you're actively like a designer for your like full-time job.
Mhm. Like I mentioned earlier, that's, like, originally how I started out art, like, painting with my dad, oil pasteling with him, collaging, using clay a lot. Now that I think about it, looking back, I did do, like, a few ceramics classes, and I loved it.
Hmm.
So, it's, like, full circle going back into that, but honestly, I was just so burnt out in school, like, I
Yeah.
was just needed to get off the laptop and, like, back with, like, doing something and creating something with my hands, and I feel like graphic design isn't I mean, unless you're doing print, isn't very, like, tangible, like, I needed
Right.
something to, like, feel and, like, touch and, like, believe that I was actually creating,
Hmm.
and basically, I just had, like, a lot more free time after I graduated. I did not get a job
Yeah.
after graduating. I was just once again very burnt out, but having creative parents, thank God, they were so supportive and so just gave me so much grace and gave me as much time as I needed to sort of like reflect and take the time to heal. And
Yeah.
I traveled a lot. I traveled to like Thailand,
Oh yeah.
Paris,
Right.
and did a lot of traveling for a year and a half, and I feel like that opened a new door of creativity for me through travel and inspiration and seeing all these artworks that we learned in school and art history and, like, actually seeing them in person and
Hmm.
just experiencing all these artists that we had learned about. And that was just very eye-opening and honestly motivating when I came home and creating again. And then that's when I sort of started pottery. My mom actually started taking classes and
Hmm.
I was unemployed, so I had a lot of free time. I was like, "Fine, I'll do something." I just needed like some structure in my day.
Yeah.
And so I started that. And then my dad joined, so it became like a
A
family
family.
affair.
Okay.
And
That's
so
awesome.
both of my parents and I were taking pottery classes. We spent at least like 15 hours in the studio together. Just like it was a lot. Like we would be there
Yeah.
till like 9:30, like 4 hours straight just with my parents post grad was just not what I was expecting, but it ended
Yeah.
up being like the best experience, and I know I'll look back at this, like, time and just be grateful for, like, all the memories that I made with them,
Mhm.
but learning pottery sort of started with my mom, and I've sort of continued it since. I started with hand building at first, and then I started getting into
On the
pottery
wheel.
throwing, and that's been, like, a whole learning curve, and I also think that pottery has taught me, like, so much, not just about clay, but just about, like, life and design in general, like, you have to have so much patience,
Mhm.
and you kinda just have to learn to, like, let go, like, the clay will flop, clay's not gonna go how you want it to be, like, you'll finish a piece and it'll shatter, like, you just have to let it go, and I've also, like, realized how important, like, creativity and, like, community and connection is, how important to
Mhm,
me, at least it is, being, like, so remote during school. I really craved, like, the in-person connection with other people, and so I've loved pottery. I never thought I would be doing it, especially
mhm.
with both of my parents, but it's been super, super fun.
No, yeah, because 'cause I've seen, like, you've really leaned into it. I mean, you even had your first, like, pottery sale. So how did that kinda go? I mean, when I first started, like, trying to put my stuff out there, it's very, like, nerve-wracking, like, "Oh, am I gonna get
Oh my god.
sales?" Like, so yeah, how did that kind of go for you, that process?
I've been wanting to sell my own design work for years, never got around to it, was just convinced no one
Mhm.
would buy it. Pottery just forced me to do it and get it over with. Maybe it's because, like, I put so much of my personality and my person I don't know, like, into my designs, whereas
Right.
pottery I'm not so attached to. So maybe
Yeah,
that's why it was
okay.
so easy to start selling that.
Mhm.
But yeah, my first drop sold out in like an hour. I started off with just like
Hey,
small
that's
batch
awesome.
posters.
That's awesome.
And I'm working on my second drop right now, and I'm also working on, like, hosting a pottery painting night with a few people, so I'm throwing,
Mhm.
like, the bowls and glasses, and everyone's gonna come and paint them. So, I'm really excited that I started, selling. I just had, I don't know, I was just convinced no one would buy anything, but then it
Yeah.
ended up selling out in an hour, so I was just very happy it went well, and I'm excited to, like, continue.
No, that's honestly that's so encouraging to hear. I mean, and especially just that being your first kind of, entrance into, I guess, even the world of entrepreneurship. And then I think it's cool that it's now translating to you bringing other people into your space.
Everyone needs a hobby. So this year, I think I want to focus on like instilling creativity in others because I feel like that's what I've focused on the past year and a half, 2 years. And I've seen like such an improvement in just like my mental being, my physical. Like just everyone needs to be constantly creating.
No, I agree. I feel like we might be biased, but I don't think there's anything better than being a
No, I
creative
know.
and getting to just make things. But kind of thinking about the other sort of analog mediums you've dabbled in, because I mean, honestly, one thing I admire about you is that you kind of follow your curiosities. I remember you when you talk about doing glass blowing or doing
Yes.
like I'm like I don't even know anybody that does that. So I'm like you're the one person I know that does that. And then you mentioned the collage, mixed media. What else is there? I mean, you do watercolor paintings. I saw you doing them. Like you go to like baseball
Hmm.
game and just like sketch in
Yeah.
watercolor. So kind of talk a little bit more about your other analog art
I feel
interests.
like I definitely get that from my parents. They're always just dabbling in so many different types of arts. Like my mom was painting for a while and then she switched to pottery and then she was doing like monoprint painting. And so I feel like just seeing, and then she owned like a vintage store for a while and went to like
Right, right.
entrepreneurship route. So like I always saw them just like trying different things. Same as my dad, just going from like drawing to like pastels to clay. So just I don't know, maybe the ADHD and the ADD, like I'm just always wanting to like try something new. But yeah, I'm looking back, I'm like, wow, I really have done a bunch of things.
So many things, honestly. Like, I've seen you kind of talk about your mom's vintage store, and so was that sort of what led to some of your interest in fashion, or did that kind of come from
Definitely,
somewhere else?
yeah.
Yeah.
So she started selling vintage with her best friend when I was probably like 10 years old, 11. So she was always like, she picked me up from school and we'd go vintage shopping and like to the thrift stores and I'd be stuck there for hours while she's like sifting through racks.
Mhm.
So she started there in SoA in Boston. She also sold there. So that kind of just like introduced me into vintage fashion. Like I was tagging clothes in like my living room, prepping for sales with her. Like my whole
Wow.
house would just be filled with racks of clothes. Like I learned so much about like the different time periods and decades of like fashion and like
Mm.
the difference between like each piece of clothing. And it was just like so cool to grow up and watch, especially like to see her grow as a business. I think I was in high school, she opened her first vintage store in Fenway, and it was actually on Park Drive, and she had a few interns of her that went to BU, and
Okay.
that's why I ended up wanting to go to BU because I thought those girls were
Ah,
so
so
cool
cool.
and
Yeah.
pretty. I was like, "I wanna go there."
Mhm.
And then I actually ended up being in the sorority of the same girl, and she was still
Uh,
at school. She was a
oh, for
senior when
real?
I yeah, she was a senior when I first started at BU, and we ended up, like, reconnecting, which is, like,
Oh,
crazy
that's
and full
awesome.
circle, yeah, so that's the reason why I wanted to go to BU as well, is because she had that vintage store there. I actually ended up living right next door my first year, next to the vintage store, which
Oh,
was
wow.
pretty insane. And then she opened up a store in South Boston.
Mhm.
She had that for, I think, like 2 years, and so the store basically worked as, like, there were multiple vendors, and they sold, their clothes within the store, and so that's why I still have, like, relationships with a lot of vintage vendors in Boston, is because they sold at my mom's store, and they've known me since I was, like, 12, and I've just also, like, seen them grow, and that's why I love, like, supporting vintage businesses
Mhm.
and just, like, the best spots in Boston of where to thrift, and yeah, I just that was I wish she still had the vintage store today. I'd
Yeah.
be working there for
Yeah, for
sure,
yeah. No, I can
but
definitely
she
see that.
actually ended up closing it to help me on my college applications.
Oh, I mean, wow, shout out to mom, man.
I know, I needed help, but yeah, I wish it was open. It taught me so much and definitely was, like, obviously the introduction to, like, fashion, and which is why I love thrifting so much and sourcing vintage fashion and yeah, just collecting clothes.
Yeah, okay. And then, so could you describe like a couple of your like favorite finds that you've gotten while thrifting?
Oh my god. I actually just wore one of my favorite finds. I found these Gucci pinstripe black trousers. They're like perfectly low waisted. Found those at the Savers in West Roxbury in
Mhm.
Boston. I've also just found like so many bags, like this
Yeah.
Roberto Cavalli bag. I found Chanel flats for $70. I just got a film camera, which is my new hobby that I'm
Oh, we're
working
getting
on.
into photography now. Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I love to hear it.
Film, yes. I took my film camera to Paris, but I don't even know if I was clicking the button right. I don't even know, like, I hope so.
Was the film do we know if the film was loaded?
I really
Could
like,
be.
I think, like, the, counter things messed yeah, I'm, like, fingers crossed that I was taking a picture that whole pictures that whole time, like, there's rolls that I hope are filled,
Okay, yeah, let's
or
hope, let's
else
hope.
I would have missed a lot of photo ops looking
Uh-huh.
back.
Okay.
But, yeah, I have many, many finds. I can't even think of them all, but, yeah, so many.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's honestly it is a craft to be able to spot and find, those very kind of either whether it's like niche pieces or just pieces that look like really cool or and especially pieces that work for yourself. Or do your friends like come to you for like advice on thrifting and all that?
Yes, yeah, my friend Lily, actually, she went on tour. She's a singer. She went on tour and she
Okay.
asked me to help
Right.
style her for her tour. So I was sourcing her a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, so that was really cool to help her with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, so now you add stylists to the list of creative endeavors? Wow. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, my friends always come to me for, like, help. I'm always sending them, like, mood boards and Pinterest boards. I am obsessed with, like, creating mood boards. I really love, like, trend predicting and forecasting. So I think that's, like, something I definitely wanna look into career-wise
Mhm.
moving forward. But this job oh my gosh, this
Yeah,
job
I
that I
mean,
have,
yeah.
Perry, I have turned into a Photoshop wizard, if
Wizard?
I do
Okay.
say so myself.
Alright, alright.
Like, literally completely all Photoshop, which was just, like, not the transition I thought I would be making. I thought I was, like, InDesign till I die or something,
Yeah.
or
Yeah, because
Illustrator.
wasn't much Photoshop
You were
in
literally the
our
only person I knew that went on Photoshop.
yeah, everyone's grinding in InDesign, Illustrator,
Other than making, like, a GIF, like, I never used Photoshop. But honestly, I was kind of like, Photoshop was the first application I learned in high school because I was
Mhm.
making those, magazine
Right.
collages.
Mhm.
After I did the analog design is I sort of went the Photoshop route of, like, masking things out of, like, photos and creating collages on Photoshop, so
Okay.
I was kind of happy sort of to go back to the roots once again
Yeah.
of Photoshop. But, like, I am, like, masking all day.
So, yeah, what's like a day-to-day look like for you, at your job?
So my office is in Seaport. I love it over there. I work at Rue La La, Rue Gilt Group, and then they own 3 apps, Simon Group and Rue La La, and then Gilt. So it's 3
Mhm.
different apps. I
Okay.
work for Rue La La. It's basically a discounted luxury app, brands like Gucci, Prada, Valentino, Frame. I could literally name there's so many good brands on there. I do so much shopping, it's really bad. I get 25% off discount, but during the holidays I had 35.
Oh.
I was
Okay.
shopping so much, especially when I went to Paris. I was buying so much. I got like the Smithsonian scarf. They have Marc Jacobs. So many cool brands. So basically, my day to day is I'm working a lot with like copywriters and the
Mhm.
art directors. So we shoot everything in office. We have an office in Kentucky and an office in Boston. So I see all the models come in and get their makeup and hair done, which is really cool. They shoot all the looks. There's a huge closet of like all like the pieces and like all the clothes and accessories. It's so cool. So it's super cool to see like that lens of like the studio work and stuff.
Mhm.
And then I'm at my desk all day. I have usually like 7 to 13 projects each day.
Whoa. Whoa. Okay, now I can see why you're like, "I'm about to crash out."
Very like
Whoa, 7 to 13? That's OD.
7 to 13 projects each day. I'm completing about like 35 to 40 a week. I've had this job for almost 4 months. I've done more than 400 projects.
Wow, so it's like you're literally just like bang, bang, bang,
I'm
like this
basically just
you
like a production designer. Like
uh-huh.
I can show you like screenshots of like what I'm making and you can show.
Yeah, yeah,
Um
yeah.
but basically like I'll show you for now, but like it's this app and like I'm making like all these banners.
Oh, and
And
but
so, like, I made this one.
okay.
And so, basically how the app works is, like, they release it as sort of like flash sales, so they have these sales 3 times a day, which is why there's so many events to design.
Okay, yeah,
So
that
it's
makes
3
sense.
times a day, multiple events and multiple drops, and yeah, it's a lot. It's really fun. It's so fast paced. Um, I really thought like starting this job that they would work so much farther ahead in like designs, but it's literally
Oh,
it's like a week
they,
and a half forward. Like it's not too
uh-huh.
far ahead, which I wasn't really like expecting. But that's probably
Mhm.
why it's so fast paced.
Yeah,
But yeah, these I'm designing designs that will probably go live in like a week, which
okay.
isn't what I was expecting, but kind of like more cool because you're sort of like along for the ride. And so basically, I make my designs, and then a few days, like I can scroll and like shop them and just
Oh,
scroll.
that's so
Like
sick.
it's so cool. Just like opening your phone and like being able to see like what you made. But then at the same time, I do miss being able to like feel my designs and like when it was on paper. It's sort of like a
Mhm.
weird, I don't know, a weird experience for me. Like I'm pumping out these designs like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then like I never like feel them or see them basically. And
Yeah, I kinda can
so
feel like it's going to like a void kind of,
no,
and then,
seriously.
uh-huh,
And so, like, I'll never see them unless I go on the app.
on the app.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that was kind of like a I don't know if that's just me, but that was just, like, an adjustment I had to get used to, especially with, like, how much work I'm doing. But, yeah, so many projects,
Yeah. No,
lots to
that's
do, but it's really cool. Like, we work with, like, the copywriters, so, like, they make the copy of, like, what's gonna go on the banners,
right,
and
and
then we
then
work with, like, the art directors who are shooting the looks, and then at the same time, they get combined and you get the images and the copy and then put it together. And then that's how the
and then
designs are
voila, it's
designed.
on Rue La La, yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Ooh la la.
Rue La La,
Yeah. So it's really cool to like go back and I often do shop my design. Sometimes if there's like a difficult design that took really long, I'll gift myself a present
you're
and
like, "I
buy
deserve
something
this."
from it. Yeah, I'm like, "You deserve that."
Mhm.
But yeah, it's really cool. I have learned, like, so much from this job. I think it's a great first,
Job to do, yeah.
job for sure, even though I'm, like, 3 years post-grad, 2 years post-grad,
I
but,
know
like,
it's crazy. It's about to be 3 years since we graduated.
I was
Like,
scared it was
no,
4, and I actually almost crashed out. I was like,
nah,
"No, no, 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 no,
it's
no,
just
no,
3, it's just
too
3.
soon."
We're not that washed
I
yet.
can do with 3. I can do with 3, 4 is a little
Yeah, 4
much.
is like, dang.
Yeah, for sure. But I really like my coworkers at this job.
Mhm.
I started like the week before Black Friday, which is the most
Ooh,
insane
I can
time
imagine, I can only
for the
imagine.
fashion industry. So I was completely like thrown into this. It was a huge learning curve, but it taught me like how to adapt super quick, like ask questions. Like the only way I learned was through making mistakes, and it taught me like so much about the brand in such a short time. So I definitely think that was beneficial, even though it was such a big challenge.
Yeah,
Looking back, like, I feel like if I can get through that, I can get through
anything,
anything.
nothing's gonna stop you at this point, so,
Yes, yeah, and it's
uh,
also, 2 days in person, which I love, so I'm
yeah, then you
remote
can at
the rest
least,
of the days.
yeah, have some flexibility in that way, so that's nice.
Yes, yes, but I
Okay.
love it so far, it's been great.
Yeah.
My mom actually worked there when I was younger,
Oh,
which is
wow.
funny. Like, I remember going to the studio and just, like, spending, like, Halloween and, like, holidays there, like, trick-or-treating around the office, so it's kind of just, like, full circle. Also, like, Rue La La was obviously fashion related, and that was also to be honest, Rue La La was one of the first, introductions to fashion for me because I was constantly shopping my mom's Rue La La account on my phone and,
Yeah.
like, shopping her account. So, in high school, while I was in, like, math class, I would just, like, shop Rue La La. So I was very,
Hmm.
very familiar with
Yeah.
the brand, I was able to say in my interview.
Okay. Alright, yeah, I feel like as you've been talking about your creative journey, there's been so many kind of, like, circling back moments to where you're, like, doing things that you were spending so much time doing earlier, when you were younger, so I think that's really cool
Yes.
to see, and
Definitely.
even just seeing, like, the in detail, like, because I mean, I remember, like, I think when you first got the job, I was like, "Oh, congrats," and then you're like, "Perry, I'm literally, like, being thrown into the fire," but, like, I didn't realize you were, like, on the grind, like, this much, like
Oh my
like
god. Like,
yeah.
yeah, I try and tell, like, my friends who don't do design, like, how many
Yeah.
projects I have a day, and they don't, like, get the
Yeah,
scope,
they
but,
don't
like,
get the full yeah.
telling, like, designers, like, how much of a workload it is, they're like, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
But, yeah, it is a lot, but I have a lot for my portfolio, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah,
A
abundance of
lot,
stuff.
maybe too much,
Yeah.
but I've learned so much, like, I you should have seen me, like, getting back into Photoshop. There were so many tears. I'm like, "How do I do this?"
Yeah,
But I had my parents and, like, working from home, like, I was able to ask my mom a masking problem, and she's like, "Oh, there." I'm like,
yeah,
"How
yeah.
did you do that?"
Okay.
So, once again, so lucky to have graphic designer parents.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
At many, many moments, I find myself saying that.
Okay. And then, in your job, like, what skills do you feel like have been most beneficial for you to be able to, like, do your job well?
Organization and file organization. I feel like I
Mm.
didn't know at all what I was doing in school. My files were like my laptop was like like
Oh, that's what mine looks like right
everywhere.
now. Yeah.
Now yeah, my files are perfect, clean, organized, dated. Yeah, I never thought I would be here.
Okay.
This organized. So yeah, definitely organization, adaptability, and just like wanting to learn. So just
Mhm.
like taking any opportunity to learn. Like they recently introduced like video into the boutiques and design. So they're shooting video of the models now where they're using Premiere. Have you used Premiere Pro a lot?
So, with as much of the video editing as I do, I don't like the Premiere Pro interface, so I just stick to Final Cut Pro because 'cause I'm like, it's just yeah,
Oh,
it's easier
you
for
don't
me to
even
work
use
in.
After Effects?
After Effects, I'll dabble in it for a few things.
I hate After Effects. So yeah, Premiere Pro is what they're using for that, and I sort of started recently learning that because I was like, yeah, I would love to learn this and help in like any way that I can. So yeah, definitely being open to grow, organized and adaptable, I'd say for
Okay.
sure.
Oh, yeah, and then one thing I feel like that I'm honestly missing from my job right now that you get to have is, like, just the experience of, like, working in a team with different people, and then obviously you're getting to learn things from people, and they can learn things from you. And
Yeah.
like it's like you're talking about now that they're introducing video. I'm assuming that you probably have to collaborate a little bit more with like maybe even the UI UX people to make sure that like the video and then the text layouts and stuff like all
Mhm.
work together, and then even with like the
Yeah.
copywriting. So it's nice to be able to have a team. I feel like to
Yeah, there's a
to work
lot
on
of
all that.
layers, especially with, like, how big the company is and, like, there's, like, merchandise, like, that's also a play of, like, what's going in, like, what's being sold in these boutiques also has a play and role in, like, how the copy's written of, like, what's in the boutique. So, yeah, there's a lot of layers that go into one single design, which is crazy to, like, look you wouldn't really think so, but a lot goes
Yeah.
into sort of the final result. But it's super cool to obviously work with different designers that have different levels of skills and experience, and motivating too, to like see other people higher up in their career and like what your career could look like.
And then I guess like what advice would you give to someone that is interested in pursuing a pathway at like the intersection of design and fashion based on your experience so far? I guess even maybe like applying for other jobs and then finally getting this one. Like what are things that you kind of notice that I think you think would be important to highlight?
Um, just with the application process, just like give yourself grace. I
Hmm.
stress myself out so much trying to find a job, just like especially with how it is right now, finding a job,
Hmm.
especially as designers, like it's hard. Like give yourself grace, create structure, but still like pursue the things that you like. Like your life doesn't have to be filled with job searching. Looking
Yeah.
back at my experience, I feel like I just stressed out so much about that. It's like you will find the job that is going to be like your fit. Even
Hmm.
if it doesn't seem like it in the moment, like it'll come and you don't have to rush it. Especially with like I felt like so behind because I took such a long time off. I
Hmm.
felt like I wasn't gonna get a job because I had spent this time sort of focusing on myself and focusing on like other forms of art and traveling. So, yeah. But there is no certain timeline that we're supposed to be on. You're never
Hmm.
behind. I would like sort of look at adulthood as like you're starting when you're 20 and like by the age that I am right now, I'm only 5 years old. So like you have so much
Yeah.
ahead of your career. There's no need to be stressed out. Like,
Hmm.
yeah.
Okay. Actually, I like that perspective. Facing it's like, yeah, I'm literally five. Like, it's like you're starting
It just
fresh.
like
Like,
you just started.
yeah,
You
like when I
just
was
started.
five or when we were five, like no one was like, you should know how to like do this and this and this,
Yeah.
like to that
Mhm.
extent. So
Yeah, my
yeah.
mom actually told me that this is your first job. This is the first of like everything for you, especially as like where she is in her career. She can look back and give me like so much advice that like she wish she could have told herself. And she knows exactly like what to say because she knows how she felt in my place that I am now, which is very comforting. And once again, thank God I have graphic designer parents.
Yes, yes. Indeed,
Yeah.
indeed. But, yeah, now I kinda wanna transition to talking about just, like, you posting on social media. Just because honestly, just looking at everyone in our design class, I feel like literally only you and Jacqueline are the only people I ever see posting stuff. So, like, for me, I enjoy seeing,
Yeah.
your guys' stuff and you putting yourself out there. So I guess what made you wanna, like, have more of a presence on social media over, like, the past, like, couple of years?
Yeah, I feel like at one point I was just like, there's nothing to lose.
Mhm,
Like, especially like I wanted to find I feel like for a lot of my life I've been looking for creativity and like creative friends because I felt like there were none in the area that I grew up in. So that's also like why I started Posties because I wanted to like sort of spread the community and sort of create one too of like girls who love to craft, girls who love to paint and like
mhm.
I mean not specifically girls, but like
I mean, I
a
can
community that, like, loves design and, like, creativity and stuff, but I don't know, maybe it was just, like, pottery? Maybe I just took my own artwork and, like, design as, like, too much of myself, whereas pottery was just, like, a hobby, I guess?
Mhm.
And it sort of made me look as, like, there's nothing really I can lose with that, it's just a hobby, whereas, like, design is, like, my whole life and, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe that makes sense, but pottery was just, like, a hobby, just like glass blowing or something, so It kind of
Yeah.
took off, like
The pressure and weight
yeah,
of,
the
like,
pressure.
expectations, I guess. No, I definitely relate to that because I feel like sometimes I think, well, with anyone in their, profession or, like, what they do as, like, their life's work, it can be kinda hard to separate that from, like, who you are and your identity. Like, when you make something, it feels like a part of you is in it, so then it's like if maybe it doesn't
Yeah.
get, like, as much love on social media, then it kinda feels like I myself am
Mhm.
not being appreciated online, but then with, like, the party, for instance, it being a hobby, it's like, well, I
Exactly.
don't have that much stake in it, so it's like, why not
Exactly.
just, like, throw it out there. I was actually talking to someone about this the other day, like posting on Instagram versus like TikTok. I
Oh
feel
my
like,
god, I hate posting on
like no,
Instagram.
literally, like
That's
my,
so
uh,
true to, like,
yeah,
look at it. It's like, yeah, like, pottery versus like, that's the same. It's like TikTok and Instagram.
no, literally,
I can post anything on TikTok. Instagram, I just feel like everyone is watching.
yeah, it's just a different vibe. Like, you mean my our Instagram, like I've posted like 5 times. I feel like in like the past, I used to post so much, but then like I don't know, I just kind of
I agree.
it feels scarier to post there now. I don't know.
I
Um,
know.
Yeah, but
Ugh,
then on TikTok, I'm just,
I
like,
love
posting
TikTok.
whatever, like, I'm sure you've seen I'm
It's so
posting, like
silly.
be posting, like, random
I
just,
love
like,
it.
very random stuff,
It's like a safe space there, a silly
yeah.
safe space.
No, exactly. Yeah.
But then again, I don't know who's sending my TikToks, I can't say.
That too, but, I mean, who cares, right?
Yeah, not on TikTok.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's been fun, like, posting on, TikTok. I've been sort of, like, setting myself up to post 3 times a week, sort of,
mhm,
and it sort of just, like, holds me accountable to, like, creating and stuff.
yeah,
Also, like, I just, like, love like, literally last night, I was going through my TikTok and just watching, like, all the funny, like, pottery vlogs with my parents, and, like, I just know, like, I'm gonna look back and, like, just be happy that I made these, like, small videos and stuff. And it's something that I enjoy is, like, little video creation content, like, editing video short form videos, like, it's something I enjoy doing, and yeah, it's like, why
mhm.
not?
Yeah, and I think you even saying the idea of being able to look back on this, like, documenting and catalog of just, like,
Yeah.
your 20s. I think I saw a video not like, a little while ago where someone was talking about, like, how they shifted their perspective on social media to not see it as, like, "Oh, I have to make these videos to, like, market myself," but literally just a documentation, yeah, of, like, your life, and then just whatever comes out of it, but then at least you know that you'll have something to look back on and see, like, where you can see the growth or even the failures and mistakes that you're able to, like, learn and grow from. So I think having that approach is definitely, a great way to go about it.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like I'm just like constantly creating and like what's next and just constantly having new ideas and wanting to create them that I don't really like take the time to like reflect and look back, but I'm like I'm so happy like I'm so yeah, it's just like fun and like I love looking back in my old videos and yeah, I'm just happy that I have them even just in the past few years of posting them.
For sure. And then last couple of questions. What would you kind of say have been your favorite projects that you've made till date, whether it be the pottery or design, like which or mixed media? I know that might be a bit
Hmm.
of a tough question, but just like two that come to one or two that come to mind.
Oh, I
Or
actually
you have
have.
one in person we get to see
I
on
have
the.
my glass bag.
Oh, okay.
This was probably one of my most proud my glass blown bag.
Oh, snap. Oh.
I made this in New York City in my glass blowing, class,
Mhm.
and I sourced this, the chain in Paris when I was there with my mom
Ah,
for we went to Paris to go thrift shopping. We went on, like, a
mhm.
huge thrifting trip. And so I sourced this and then attached like 2 handles, and it actually fits a lot. Like,
Wow.
it fits I've never worn it out.
Yeah, I
Like
mean, that'd be a pretty cool statement piece as part of
yeah,
your outfit.
there is a brand, Caperni, that has a
Mhm.
glass bag, so I did it
Mm.
first.
You did it first. Okay, yeah, yeah.
But theirs is, like, all clear and it's, like, has a handle too, it's really cool, but
Mhm.
yeah, did
Wait,
that
so
first.
what was, like, the process for making that, like did you have to kinda go through multiple iterations to get the shape or, like, how did
It
that kinda go?
literally glass blowing was the most stressful hobby I've had so far. The time under pressure for that, oh my gosh, you make this in, like, probably, like, less than 15 minutes.
Oh.
Like, you start off with just a small ball of glass on a end of a long rod, and then you roll it out, and then that's when you blow into it, and
Mhm.
then I switched it over from, like, one rod to another rod to open up, like, a hole to create,
For
and
the
then
yeah.
I, like, pointed I, like, took a sort of, like, pliers and created these, like, 2 holes, like, there was a rod attached to this, and you're
Mhm.
spinning over and over, and then you shape it with, like, newspaper and, like, flat I don't even know what it's made out of, but, like, it's so
Mhm.
hot and, like, you're wearing, like, a mask, and it's so overstimulating.
Yeah.
And then, like, when it's done, you put in, like, the annealer, which is, like, this huge sort of, like, heater that, like, brings it back down to room temperature over, like, the course of 2 days. And then after you close that, you're like, "Whoa, what just happened?" Like, it just goes by so fast, and you don't even know
Yeah.
if it, like, will work or not. Like, you don't even know what you made. But, yeah,
Ah.
Glassblowing was really fun. I have a little paperweight that I made.
Okay, I feel like I've seen that before on TikTok,
Yes,
yeah.
I have a lot of these.
Wait, so what's inside of it? It's like a
It's another layer of glass. So that
oh,
is, like, colored glass, like, it's
yeah.
grit, so it's, like, speckles of colored glass, and then
Mhm.
I dipped it in a tank of glass, and that's what, like,
And it
did
formed
the
around it.
second layer, and then you,
Ah,
like, shape it into the bowl, like, it's attached to the rod like this, and you're, like, shaping it and whatever.
okay.
But yeah,
I
it's
I might
super
I might
cool.
need to ask for some, like, visuals so to put over the video, like, so we can get a clear picture. Because I have an idea because 'cause I've seen it before because you posted it, but I'm sure people watching are like,
What
have like, have
the
no idea what's going on, but yeah.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was really cool. I did not wanna do it at all. I was pissed. I didn't have enough credits to graduate
Oh,
because
yeah,
Beth
shout out to Beth. Yeah,
you
listen,
know
we
she isn't a thingamajigger anymore? She
she
got demoted.
she oh, I don't wanna say too much, but
She
I
got
mean,
demoted.
can't say I'm the most surprised anyway, but,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I didn't have enough college credits to graduate, so it was either take a summer class or take a winter class during the winter break. I was like, obviously
Mhm.
winter. I'm not staying longer than I
Yeah,
have
in the
to
summer,
here.
no, yeah.
And then it was between art history or glass blowing,
You're like, "Alright,
and I
well"
didn't want to do any more writing.
Alright,
So
okay,
I was
that's
like,
valid, that's valid.
"Fine, whatever this is." And then I had to transfer the credits, so I took it through Mass Art
Okay.
and transferred the credits back to BU, and that's how I was able to take glass blowing. Like, says no one.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a pretty unique,
It's
sort
so
of
niche.
very niche experience that, like, only
I feel
you have
like
had.
I feel like my life is just the definition of niche.
Yeah, as I've gotten to know, honestly, I've learned, like, so many like, there's things I kinda have had ideas about, but I feel like I've gotten to learn so many
Yeah, like
things about your experience,
I
so
the day I meet, like, another girl my age that has
it has
2
done
artist parents and does glass blowing and all these crazy things, I will be happy. I'm just like, "There has to be someone else out there like
someone
me."
shoot, maybe after we put this video out, you'll find your
Please.
shoot. We're looking for someone else that has this very niche experience in life.
No, literally. Anyone, a child of 2 artists, hello, anyone
That alone is already pretty niche, let alone the glass
looking for a
blowing.
child of 2 artists.
Yeah,
Need to
uh,
trauma dump.
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
That'd be amazing. I actually found a girl on TikTok. I don't know where she lives, but her parents are both like working artists
Mm,
and just has like the same experience as me. She posts like content where she like calls her parents down to take the last look at her painting, and the parents are like, looks good.
looks good,
Or else
yeah.
they're like, you need to fix that, or that. I'm like,
Right, right.
relatable. Like when I first started my job, um, my dad was like, what's your click rate? What's your click through rate? I was like, what
Huh?
the heck?
Wait, what is that? I don't even what is that?
It means like how many times does like the user click through like your designs or something.
Oh, UI, UX type,
Yeah,
yeah,
UX,
type,
like,
UX,
analytics like that. I'm like, "Dad, I wouldn't know that." Like, I was sending him, like, how many projects I've done. He's like, "Great, now can you get the data for that?" I'm like, usually someone's parents would be like, "Good job,
Yeah,
you're doing
I
great."
know, he's, like, immediately trying to
He
analyze,
goes,
like
"What's the click rate?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't even have access to that information." He's like, "Can you get it? I wanna know." I'm like,
Okay, like
"Only me,
uh-huh,
only me."
yeah,
But he was very beneficial. Like, he's retired now, so all he
mhm,
does is send me YouTube videos of design videos, like, all day, every day, all night too, like 2
wow,
AM, Japanese design videos or something, like, crazy. Like, but, he has been sending me, like, so many Premiere Pro YouTube
tips,
tutorials
mhm.
and, like, masking and, like, stuff, so it is very beneficial.
Mhm. Actually, I feel like a content idea you could do is, like, just posting about, like, stuff that your dad sends you
I
as,
know,
like,
I
an
need to
artist.
keep track of it, cause like, I've been
Yeah.
screenshotting it for years, but, like, I had to go back and find the screenshots, cause some of them are absurd, and I would just post them on my Snapchat story, and
Yeah, I've
all
seen
my all my normal friends would just be like,
Huh?
I'm like, "Yeah, this is insane." Yeah,
Yeah.
I that it's definitely been a content idea I've had, but I've been too lazy to go back and look at the
Uh-huh. Because I
screenshot.
mean, like you're saying, it seems like there's been a kind of a lot to go through, so
And then he'll be like, "Did you look at that video?" I'm like, "Which one? You sent me 15."
yeah, yeah,
I'm like, "I've been working all day."
yeah.
He just draws all day and watches YouTube videos.
Okay. I mean, shoot, I think that's what I wanna end up doing
Yeah,
eventually.
and then my mom just takes meetings and then runs to the pottery studio. I'm like, "My future looks bright."
Indeed, indeed, yeah. Definitely don't wanna take up too much more of your time, but, definitely really have enjoyed this conversation, learning more about you and your creative journey and all that, and, before we get off here, wanna plug your socials so that people can keep up
Of
with what's going
course.
on?
Both my TikTok and Instagram are by Isadora Sky, and then my personal account is just Isadora Sky.
Just
And
Rose
yeah.
Guy?
Well,
Okay,
thank you so much, Perry, for having me. It was so fun just like
of course.
chit-chatting and catching up.
No, yeah, this was awesome, and, guess, we'll catch you on the next one.
Yes.
Peace.
Bye bye.